Hello everyone, and welcome once again to Rolling Ones, the RPG podcast. I'm your host Sean, and with me today are...
Oh, are we introducing ourselves?
Yes,
Hi,
that was your cue. Should we start over?
Oh, that's always
It's
awesome.
great to be here.
Should we start over?
Yeah, let's start over.
Hello everyone, welcome
Wait,
to
I
Rolling
like-
Ones,
I thought
the
that was-
RPG podcast. I'm your host Sean, and with me today are these morons.
Hi, I'm Chris. It's great to be here.
Okay, I couldn't hear you over Jay laughing.
I say we leave it. I like it.
You
Yeah,
say
it's perfect.
You
It's
say
great.
we leaf it?
I swear to God, Sean.
Eh?
I don't know where you live, but I will find you.
There's no visual, so no one who listens to this is gonna get that.
In jokes are amazing in podcasts where you have no idea what they're talking about.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm Jay / that Canadian guy, and
I'm Rhea, back again for another round. They couldn't get rid of me.
And we tried.
oh my God, did we try? Sorry.
What the hell?
I was watching a show, and the original version of that song was playing as part of the soundtrack. I was like laughing, but I was really enjoying this show.
Awesome.
Alright,
So it worked.
So I'm what, 2 minutes in, and I've already lost control of this podcast. That's a new record.
Oh,
Alright.
yeah.
So, I guess we'll be starting the news, as we always do, because we're not doing another actual gameplay episode like we did last week. I'm sorry, everyone.
We might in the future though.
I realized that was apparently the most popular episode because after one day it had more visitors than any other episode we had.
Well, who knows? Maybe people came in to see that, and then then they'll check out the rest from now on, and that will become our base number.
They'll listen to
Probably
this.
not.
They'll listen to this episode and be like, "This isn't what I wanted."
Yeah.
There's not enough killing, not enough party killing going on, not enough griefing.
More TPKs.
Anyway, the news. Serious faces now, guys. Serious
Yeah.
faces.
You can't see it, but I just pushed my hand over my face, and my smile went into a serious face.
Like hexadecimal?
What?
What?
The character from
What's the
Reboot?
news, Sean?
I'm not even sure anymore because you people. All right.
You people.
You people.
I'm
people
sorry.
who
Max
are
isn't
you?
Here. Max isn't here. I have to say it.
He should be here. He's 1 minute late. All right.
Unforgivable.
God, what the hell was the news? Oh, right. Rage of Demons has started releasing the new Dungeons and Dragons storyline. Out of the Abyss, the campaign book for it came out. By the time this episode comes out, it will have come out yesterday. Because this episode goes out on Wednesday, and yeah, it releases on Tuesday.
Awesome.
However, that's for all locations. If, however, you happen to have a local game shop, you may have already seen it or had a chance to pick it up because Wizards likes to release its D&D books 2 weeks early to local game stores.
That's
In fact,
nice.
yeah, I saw it on the shelf of my local shop a few days ago. Flipped through it a bit. I mean, I don't really usually buy adventure books for D&D, but the stat blocks for the Demon Lords are pretty cool.
It sounds it.
Like I'm using Gratz in my campaign. I'm probably not going to use the stat block they used in that book though, but I'm probably going to make it my own. But still,
Might be good as like a base for it though.
nice to know that he's officially CR24 in 5th edition.
Nice. So what's the highest CR of the Demon Lords?
Orcus and Demogorgon both share a challenge rating of 26.
Nice.
And I think the miniatures are going to come out like sometime. I don't know.
Rolling Ones. the latest news is we seem to not have much news.
Yes. I had news, but then you people decided to confuse me with your nonsense.
Oh, come on, you guys don't know about hexadecimal? You guys never seen Reboot?
Very long time ago.
Okay, well, the character hexadecimal in that, she has like a mask and she crosses her hand in front of her face to change her expression.
Hello?
Hey!
Hello, Max.
Oh, you're here.
Yeah.
I am.
Hi, Max.
This episode was actually looking like it was going to be fun.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You should be.
But I mean, hey, you know, I'm here. I can provide the witty one-liners.
Chris was already taking over that job for you.
Yeah.
No. He pretends that he can take over.
I
that.
even
That is
made a
so
joke about you people because you weren't here.
What do you mean, you people?
Exactly what I said.
You can't do it twice. It's already been done, Max. I'm sorry.
Excuse me. I believe I did it first in this chat, actually.
What?
Okay, but
So actually, Chris is the one copying me because I made the reference first.
Are you really going to claim? Are you really going to claim originality on a reference?
Yeah.
you gonna sue me over the IP?
Yeah. I'll have my people call your people.
Okay.
First, I need to get some people.
Max,
what?
you should know my Italian family has lawyers on retainer to take care of problems like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Like your neighbor.
Oh yeah, the one that's under house arrest. Oh, that one or the cop? Which one do you mean?
Both.
I have
I'm
a pretty stacked bench here.
Disclaimer, we do not know these people.
No, you do not, and that is for the best.
I'm wondering when this podcast turned into Chris's possible mob ties.
Alleged is the word you're looking for, Sean.
Okay,
Alleged.
alleged. I didn't know
Thank you.
anyone had alleged them yet.
Well, I'm not supposed to talk about it.
Okay.
Keep it on the DL.
Anyway,
Anyway.
our next news item. Those of you who have been listening since the beginning, and if you have, I am so sorry.
I'm not.
Well, the only person who's been listening from the beginning is that one old guy.
Oh yeah, the one who still doesn't know how to turn off their computer.
Yeah.
Sorry, old guy, we kind of forgot about you.
Although I hope you enjoyed seeing the whippersnappers being crazy in the last episode. You should
Anyway,
have justified all your opinions.
Mr. Confused Old Person, you may recall way back in the first episode, one of our news items was about Call of Cthulhu and Chaosium and the whole mess up with that whole Kickstarter debacle. Well, Chaosium has apparently is apparently very confident now that they will be able to print out the hard copies of Call of Cthulhu 7th Edition by Halloween.
That's
The best holiday of the year.
Yeah.
Too
Unfortunately, they're less sure about their ability to get the print copies out to Kickstarter backers before Halloween.
Not so spoopy.
They're probably not going to arrive until afterward. And then who knows when they're going to go on sale to general customers who didn't back the Kickstarter.
Well, the good news is you're still probably getting them for free.
Yes.
So I guess there's still some reason for you to, back it.
Because you pledged money, like, what? How long has it been now? Like 3 or 4 years now?
Probably.
And
Man, I hope Blue Rose doesn't take that long.
And speaking of Kickstarter, I found an interesting looking game on that the other day. Shadows over Soul. It is a sci-fi horror RPG. By the time this episode comes out, it will have about 2 weeks left on it. According to the Kickstarter page, it has been inspired by such films as Alien and The Thing.
Oh, wow.
All the facehuggers.
Yes, and
Shape-shifting facehuggers.
Oh boy.
it's set in a dark, kind of hard-ish sci-fi future. Some 200 years from now, humanity has colonized most of the solar system, and now there are dark, spoopy things happening.
Are they being run by the master computer?
Probably not.
Damn it. That would be amazing. Just combine every RPG tabletop into one, and there you go. You're done.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure there is a parody RPG out there called like Dungeons the Dragoning that tried to combine like a bunch of RPGs together.
That sounds amazing.
That does.
But yeah, Shadows of a Soul, apparently, according to the list of features on the Kickstarter page, it's going to have special rules to help you tailor the type of horror on your campaign. The exact blurb says, I can't talk today.
English is hard.
Yes, it is. Especially when you have a BA in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright. Easily dial your game down to survival horror or up to action horror.
Mm.
So you can go from alien to aliens to back to alien.
Does that sound intriguing?
Yes, it does.
You know what Kickstarter
That's why-
sounds intriguing to me?
That's why I brought it. What?
Aberford.
Gesundheit.
Not familiar with that one.
It's a zombie RPG, and all of the main characters that you play as are 50s housewives.
What the hell?
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
That's the thing.
That sounds like the greatest thing ever.
Can I tell you, it launches on the 15th in Kickstarter. Hold on.
Oh, it does?
I'm gonna send you the poster, because this poster looks just phenomenal.
Alright.
And then, I don't know, I'm gonna post it in the Skype chat if you give me 1 second. I hope I don't have the same problem with my mobile.
So if you're listening to this podcast the day it comes out, it apparently launched yesterday.
Yeah, I've seen the promo material for that for a while now. It looks awesome.
That sounds freaking
But I'm like so excited about it.
But for us it won't launch for another few days.
But
Time travel.
I've seen it on Tumblr for months now, and
Mm-hmm.
and like they just started doing it for real. I'm so
I
excited.
don't think I've heard of that.
And
like I think
you can
I
get
think I may have seen a Tumblr post like proposing the idea, but
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen like the actual. I didn't know it was being made into an actual game.
No, that's what it was. Yeah, that was what it's based on. Is that Tumblr post? It's giving me the same issue.
that sucks.
It's not
How
sending
do
the
you
picture.
Do you know how to spell it?
Aberford.
Remember, listeners, the internet is hard. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
But like it's
Of course, you
2015.
already knew that confused old person.
and the best part is if you back it for just $25, you get the game.
Nice.
So I think that's pretty awesome.
I just Googled it, checking it. Oh, it's an actual English village, but the game is the first in the Google search.
Nice. That's always
That's how you
great,
know.
isn't it?
That's how you know you've succeeded as a game company. We come before the actual place.
Then again, it's a tiny village called Aberford. I'm pretty sure if you named, like, something no one cares about Aberford, they'd still get more than the village.
True.
Oh, it's a video game, so it should be irrelevant to us.
Oh, I thought somewhere it was. My bad. Still looks interesting. You should still
I'm
get
judging you.
Yeah,
Partially
but
judging.
Yeah, I like the graphics on the screenshots
Yeah.
I'm looking at.
it looks sick.
It's got this kind of comic booky feel.
Nice.
Looks like a less serious version of The Walking Dead.
Awesome.
And I mean, considering how freaking gloomy The Walking Dead is, God. Everyone's always so freaking
Are
depressed.
you feeling happy right now? Oh, we can fix that.
That does remind me, though, a game I backed on Kickstarter a little while ago called City of the Dead, which is a tabletop RPG zombie apocalypse game, but the premise is that it's not actually focused on surviving the apocalypse, it's focused on rebuilding afterward.
Oh.
So, like, let's say,
Nice.
So you're, there's like mechanics for putting together settlements and running them and such.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'd play it.
yeah.
Not sure when it's actually coming out, I don't think. I know that the, person running the Kickstarter, she had some problems with her artists, were late sending in their work or something.
10 out of 10 would Minecraft.
When I get I'm pretty sure I believe I'm getting the PDF and the physical copy at the tier I backed, so.
Nice. You could totally play it. Awesome.
Or you can get a picture of the PDF and not actually get the PDF, and you could pay twice the price.
Okay.
But
But that's how you scam everybody. You make it be like, you get the super awesome PDF version. It's a picture of the PDF.
But aren't PDFs already pictures?
No. It's like taking with a smartphone. It's kind of like a quality, you know.
Yeah.
it's got the flash on.
Just real bad glare going, you know.
Yeah.
I'm basically just
to
trying
it.
to derail you here so that we can get back on topic. You're welcome.
Sorry, you're trying to derail us so that we could get back.
I'm trying to
on topic?
derail your derailment so that we get back on the rails so that we can go.
I don't think that's how trains work.
Max, nothing you've
that
said
is-
over the past 5 minutes has made any sense.
I've said about 5 things in the past couple minutes.
I know.
Hey, I thought we learned our lesson in the last podcast. We let friend computer take care of the train.
I agree. What are the other 3 people that are with us doing?
Oh yeah. So there are 8 people.
So,
Silence.
yeah.
Okay.
I had to
You know
count
that
bad
thing.
math.
How do you math?
I don't know.
Well, first you get your calculator.
Just as like a little comment on that, on the whole other 3 people thing.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of funny that you decide that there must be 3 other people with you rather than just that numbers work differently now.
Yeah, which I think I actually thought afterwards, when I was re-listening to the last episode, I thought, maybe I should have had my character try and see if they knew how numbers go in this world, because it might be different, and that might have fixed a lot of problems.
Because paranoia is obviously inspired by a dystopian fiction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And have any of you ever read 1984?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
2 + 2 = 5.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm
Actually,
guessing...
Actually, one of the thoughts that went through my head through that was, one of the things GLaDOS says at the very end of Portal, when you're destroying all the cores, she, 2 + 2 is, is whatever in base 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm fine!
Fine! Actually, what I was thinking, one thing that popped in my head, just this moment, was that song, Cult of Personality. I tell you 1 and 1 makes 3.
That's a
Really?
It's a good song.
Okay.
You should listen to it.
Okay.
You should listen to it.
Actually,
Or play it on Guitar Hero.
Or just listen to it, and then it'll get stuck in your head.
And then
You
you'll
can play it
have
on
to
Guitar
play it
Hero, and then the guitar breaks halfway through because they're pieces of garbage, and then that happens, and you're like, oh, well, I guess I'll go play something else.
someone should make a tabletop RPG based on Guitar Hero.
Yes,
Let's do
I will
it.
play that.
Let's do it. Let's make it. We'll do it. We can do it.
Kickstarter, let's go. Right now, go to www.kickstarter.com/Guitar Hero RPG. There you go.
Now, something we should discuss before we go ahead and make the Kickstarter. How the hell are we going to make the game?
Pieces of paper and writing. Lots of writing.
I have an idea. We'll figure that out
What?
after we're funded.
I love it.
That
think it's
sounds
fantastic.
exactly like what Kickstarter's expected.
And then when we fail, we can just do what the revered Donald Trump does and file Chapter 11.
And then blame them, and then blame the Chinese.
Right, of course.
All right.
Yeah.
I've
Making
actually
it
always
political.
I've always been tempted to just try and come up with the stupidest thing I could put a Kickstarter for, just to see if anyone would back it.
You mean besides all those really creepy RPG things that you guys have been posting in the chat that make me question humanity?
Yes, aside from those.
You mean besides that whole potato salad thing that happened a few months ago?
Did that, didn't they? And it caught
Yes.
didn't it?
Fun fact.
Kickstarter changed their whole rules because of that.
Awesome.
Fun fact. I had somebody I went to college with make a Kickstarter to buy a new car. And I was like, okay, so what are you going to say to get people to donate? And he goes, nothing. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, he showed me the Kickstarter page. It was literally, I need a new car and I don't want to have to pay for it. And
Did it
he
work?
got, it
Awesome.
worked. I don't know. I don't know who sat down and said, "Yeah, I'm gonna fund this guy's new car." Like, what?
I had this friend of mine.
That is baffling to me because he obviously should have made a GoFundMe page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then nobody would fund them.
I've been suggesting to people lately, anyone who needs lots of money, I'm just like, try making a Kickstarter. You never know.
Yeah.
I just realized something. There's a certain irony with it being a Kickstarter and a vehicle.
I should just...
We really need to continue on to our topic.
Yeah, do we have a topic?
So much editing in this episode, I imagine.
We don't edit.
No. We leave all this good. This is the gold right here. Nobody comes for the actual
It's
topics.
that good.
I'm gonna edit all the topic discussion out.
Edit out the discussion about editing.
So, our topic for this episode, dear listeners, and dear old man, God, what was our topic? Jay, what was our topic?
Players.
Player types.
Player types.
I like how
Player
everyone
types?
said it except for Jay, and then Jay said it like, oh yeah, player types, yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Why'd you single me out?
Because you were the first, your little Skype icon was the first one my eyes fell upon.
Damn it!
If they had fallen just a little to the left, it would have been Chris.
And I said
Yes.
it first.
So clearly my eyes should have fallen a little to the left.
That's okay.
Alright, so player types. Types of players.
How many ways can we say a topic title?
I don't know. How many?
Player typicals? Player archetypes?
Archetypal character builds.
The types of player, the players of typing, the typing of the players who play the game.
The poison for Cusco. Cusco's poison.
Type file player.
I had to. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, that's what I was going for, too.
I mean, look, Max, it's your icon on Skype. You have to. You're just obligated.
No, he's got a point.
No.
Alright, so anyway, player types. The taxonomy of the role player.
There we go.
Yes, so
That's the best one. That should be the episode
taxonomy
title.
of the. Oh, I was going to call it player haters, but that I should go with that.
I like taxonomy. Yeah, no, I like that one better.
That's a very
Too
good.
bad for you. I have my hater blockers on.
All right, so if you've ever played an RPG, which if you're a big enough dork to be listening to this, I assume you have. No offense, confused old man.
No one
Offense
listening
taken.
to this has ever heard of RPGs. They're just listening to this because they find our voices soothing.
I have this mental image of this old man listening to what he thinks is a radio going, huh? Huh? Are you talking to me?
They said my name.
Cheryl, get the camera.
His kids handed him their iPhone and he's like, Cheryl, my radio isn't working.
I can't turn it off and they're making fun of me.
It won't stop. They have the wrong number.
It just occurred to me. How much, do you think you would get a mention if Donald Trump ever listened to this?
If we did, I would immediately delete the entire podcast.
Donald Trump just being like, so there's these guys on the internet who make a podcast and they made fun of me.
Because they're losers.
Yeah.
Me, I'm a winner.
So I bought up Podcast Garden.
And they're fired.
And then he bought up Podcast Garden and kicked us off it.
10 out of approve. What do again?
We went 3 whole episodes without mentioning Donald Trump. I really thought we were going to continue that streak.
We went 3 whole minutes before just, going off topic again. So, I mean, that's an accomplishment, too.
Wait.
Are you sure that
realize
was 3 minutes?
you said Trump first, right?
In this episode?
Yeah.
Oh, you getting called out, Sean?
Actually, it may have been before the recording. Never mind.
No. That was me.
Oh, that was you?
It's like
Okay.
it's like
I
bridge.
said-
Trump has to be
what did I say?
broken before you can mention him.
I don't know. We'll go back and listen to it at the end.
Anyways, category.
So,
I like to choose
I was
player type.
Yeah, I was
200.
saying something. I was going somewhere with it. And then
Taxonomy.
Something about taxidermy of players.
Okay, so the best
Taxonomy.
way to stuff and mount your players, GMs, is
You have to focus on the sweet spots, get them warmed up. Actually, that's good DM advice. Focus on the sweet spots, get your players warmed up before you penetrate them with the dead.
God.
Sorry, I've been making innuendo jokes all day at work, and I'm just on a roll.
Okay.
We were sending out shipments, and we kept making box jokes to my manager, and she was not amused.
I don't know, my one of my DMs made a joke about a fist macro that was pretty epic.
Okay, Sean, I'd like to make a point here. We all are the kinds of players, I'm going to bring us back to the topic here, that you should never invite to a game because we just derail everything.
Pretty much.
That being said...
Yeah, oddly enough, our run D&D game hasn't gotten derailed all that much.
That's because your game is so story-based that it's like reading. Like, you don't look up from a book and go, ha, and make a joke. It's like, no, you just read. You continue.
Not to
such
mention,
a well-defined, not well-defined, kind of undefined story that we kind of made ourselves, to the point where trying to derail it usually just leads us into another plot point.
Yeah.
not to mention, I mean, last episode, just, oh god.
That was amazing.
10 out
Oh
of
my
10
God.
That
would
was
mind
that.
game.
Because
Yeah.
we didn't derail, we just jumped onto a parallel train that was going in a similar direction. It just took a little bit longer. Like, we jumped onto the commuter instead of the express.
A little bit longer,
Mhm.
dude. We
And I
flipped
like that.
Okay.
No, I know, but like, it I don't know.
Would you
I
say
don't know,
that
we
we're
totally
going
got on
off
the
the
express
rails
train.
on a crazy train?
Yeah.
Bum 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 bum. Sorry.
Copyright. Well, there goes the podcast episode. Good talk, guys.
Rolling ones. Now. The Rolling Ones. Now in acapella group. We sing Crazy Trains.
Now all we need to do is do a parody where instead of the Rolling Ones, we're the Rolling Stones, and we're good. Crap, wait, I just made the joke. That's me. No, done. Can't do it.
So anyway, different types of players. Some players want certain things out of their game. Some players want other things out of their game. Some players don't know what they want. And some players just want to watch the world burn.
For instance,
Sashi.
all the players.
Max.
Yep.
No. No, that was Merrick's. Kind of.
Alright, fine.
Alright, so any particular types of players any of you guys want to talk about first?
Murder hobos.
Murder hobos?
The
Yes.
easiest stereotype, yeah.
Alright, murder hobos it is.
Can we, okay, so for the sake of, we mentioned this before, we don't all call them the same thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So when we go into a specific character type, for the listeners as well as some of the attendees that might not know what that means, aka me, I have no idea what murder hobos means. Can we explain
Yeah, that's
it
what I was about to
real quick?
do until you rudely interrupted me.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I'm here for. It's why you invited me to the podcast.
No one invited you.
I invited you. I invited you because you were
Crashed.
already in my D&D group, and I didn't want to appear rude.
Oh,
All right. So a murder hobo. Murder hobos actually began as a term to somewhat derisively describe D&D and such games, and certain playstyles associated with it. Basically, these are the players who aren't interested in backstory. They aren't interested in really much of a plot at all. Their characters don't have any basis in the world or any connections to it. They just want to play characters who wander around, kill things, and take their stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a much more polite term for that in the in my various D&D manuals. They usually call that the battle bruiser, or just the combat king or whatever.
Well, I imagine murder hobo is also if you're in a group with that's mostly murder hobos, if they're the kind of people who walk into a town and when you leave the town it's on fire and everyone's dead.
I think that might actually be the chaotic the old chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
or the
Sounds about right.
what was it I called them in the chat before? Chaotic something, chaotic jerkwads, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, chaotic
Yeah.
jackasses.
Yeah,
or
chaotic
something like that. I think
jackasses.
it-
Yeah.
Yeah, chaotic jackass.
I.e. my first character,
Uh,
who was in a coop full of murder
so
hobos, who were also
the chaotic jackass is the player who just acts like a complete jackass with no rhyme and reason, and just disrupts the game.
Sociopath lunatic.
Yes.
Which is
I want a
weird
deck of many
because-
things.
No.
Which is weird because in
Is that the chaotic jackwad?
Sure. Rad?
Okay.
because we actually kind of, I mean, he's not mean-spirited about it. He just plays a very impulsive character who kind of sometimes makes things harder for us as a group, but that actually really adds a lot to our game. Because honestly, things would be going way too smoothly otherwise.
Yeah.
I don't want to,
So,
you know.
so sometimes it's actually really nice to have that element of entropy in a group, just so that, you know, things
As long as
aren't
it doesn't
always
go-
predictable. Sometimes it's, you know, kind of like, oh no! But, you know, overall. I mean, but again, you know, it depends
Never
on...
gonna forget.
I don't want to sound like I'm, you know, picking on anyone, but I swear every time we define a different player character, I just keep thinking, wow, that sounds like Sanchi.
He is the one who kept trying to shoot fireballs.
Who's the one spellcaster in the group that runs ahead of the tank?
To be fair,
Well, and Malachi.
he did steal a couple magic items meant for other players and jacked up his AC.
Also,
This is
Malachi
true.
used to do that. But he's a thief, so.
Malachi should be doing it more.
But just
Sanchi
just
should be
in
doing
that
it less.
act.
Yeah.
I mean, just in that act of stealing everybody else's equipment,
Yeah.
he is that character.
Although,
Yes.
personally, my favorite example was, again, from my first game, where we decided for no real reason to, A, slaughter a church, and 2, borrow the doors of a bar, and then lay it on fire.
Oh my god, that reminds me of something that happened in one of my games where they tried to solve a problem by throwing a Molotov cocktail through the window of the bar. Max, do you remember when Ryan did that?
Yes, I do. That was phenomenal because I was like, okay, we're leaving. Bye.
But yeah, in my first game, basically the entire party was chaotic
I don't even remember
jackasses.
what problem he was trying to solve.
Here's
Yeah.
It was a bar fight.
here's an example from my personal gaming history of the chaotic jackass. Back in our Shadowrun episode, I mentioned, while talking to Daniel, I mentioned that I ran a play-by-post Shadowrun game, very short-lived once. Jay, I believe you were actually in it.
I was?
Yeah, I actually went back and checked, and you were in it. You played.
Oh,
like,
you?
You played like an elf hacker who hated.
Oh,
his
you were
own
the
kind.
DM for that one?
Yes.
GM for that one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you didn't actually run any of the ones that took place on the forum. Okay.
Yeah, I ran.
Yeah, that was the one. That was the one I was in that you did all the rolls for because no one else had any clue how the rolls worked.
Yeah.
That was the only Shadowrun game I've ever been in.
Yeah, but there was one, like I mentioned in the episode that I specifically specified to the players that because it was a play-by-post game, I wanted to be low combat. So this, in addition to being the chaotic jackass, this also combines with another player type, which is the player who thinks he's playing something else.
Oh my god.
This, like I told everyone, okay, this is not going to be a combat-oriented game, so don't pour all your points into combat. And, like, 5 out of 6 people listened and, like, created some pretty cool character concepts that didn't involve combat. Then there was this one. Then there was this one jackass who poured all of his points into swordplay and crap.
Just because you told him not to.
Yeah. And then he spends like the entire game acting like a psycho. Like
I do not remember this character.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that the guy playing him was only like 13.
I'm gonna have to go back and check this because I do not remember this character.
Yeah, I didn't remember him either until I went back and refreshed my memory by looking at. You won't be able to check it because it's in a mod only form now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it got moved there in order to clean up the game forums area.
Oh.
But
I think, oh, go ahead.
But like like one thing I remember, like he wanted to ask another, like when they characters first meet, he wanted to ask someone a name. He wanted to ask someone like, "Hey, what's your name?" Instead of being a sane person asking, "Hey, what's your name?" he walked up to this other character, slapped him in the face, and shouted, "Name!"
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Oh my god.
Oh man, I thought my character was the craziest one in that campaign.
Yeah, no, this guy was like, I don't think anyone else liked him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, it depends on if you have a actually good-natured person behind it, the chaotic jackass can really work for you because they're the person who, you know, opens the door or, you know, lights the magic torches, you know, and actually moves the adventure along while the rest of you cautious and sensible people, you know, sit around and debate what to do all day.
Yeah, see, Max, we need Sanchi because he balances out Tesca.
A disturbing fact just occurred to me.
What?
Uh-oh.
Well, in that game, and then later in your D&D Essentials game, both times I played a fantasy version of a racist. I'm now wondering why I did that. I think just because it's funny to have like that kind of flaw, but I'm like, wow.
I think you might be working out some personal issues there, Jay.
No, I don't think so.
No, I think you are.
I am pretty much the most open-minded person in the universe, so.
You know what kind of people describe themselves that way?
Racist.
Yep.
Exactly. No.
That's racist.
I think I think the most common player that thinks he's playing somebody else is just people who don't understand their role in combat. And like I'm thinking of a specific example, and she's a mage that has so many great spells, and she decides she has nothing better to do than to run up and hit it with her staff.
Okay, for a second there I thought you were going to be talking about my character, and I'm like, uh-oh, but nope, I don't have a staff.
You just sacred flame everything.
Yeah, sacred fail.
She's in a campaign with a monk that has, oh my god, like a 19 AC.
Mm-hmm.
What is it, Max?
What was it?
What's your AC for the monk?
19.
Yeah, a 19 AC. Like, stay behind him and all will be well.
Nope.
I just don't get it.
Nope, never happens.
Yeah. I have a DM who talked me out of, for now, multi-classing my rather low-level monk into sorcerer, because, you know, I want a monk who has a tattoo that turns into a dinosaur. Come on. Why are you killing my dream, man? Just because it's not efficient, you know, like, God.
I know that the Eberron setting has magic tattoos like that. Maybe that'll be in the source book when they finally release one for that.
Cool.
Well, what edition are you playing?
Oh, it was Pathfinder.
Oh, well, you could just use the 3.5 Eberron books. They're compatible. But but that actually brings up one other type of player who doesn't realize what game they're playing, which is the person who thinks that every RPG is D&D.
Mm-hmm.
And so they approach every RPG as if it's D&D, where they can solve all their problems by hitting them hard enough.
That doesn't work, you mean?
Yeah, it doesn't work in all games.
Punch it.
If violence isn't solving all of your problems, you're not using enough of it.
Like, for example, like, I've, Demon the Descent is on my mind a lot lately because I finally found a group for it, and I just made a character the other day. But,
Nice.
Demon is an espionage game where that values subtlety and covering your tracks, and when you strike, you do it quickly and precisely.
Well, that sounds awesome.
And and then get out of there before the God Machine and its angels track you down and kill you. So if you play Demon as if it's D&D and go in, like, just head into the nearest, like, infrastructure and just trash the place,
You die.
you shouldn't be surprised when your cover gets blown and reality falls apart around you and angels set your house on fire. That's just
I think a lot of the World of Darkness games are like that, though, especially, you know, like back when the Masquerade was still a big deal.
Yeah.
Before the Requiem, you know, and stuff like that.
Yeah, but everyone, like, a lot of people played Masquerade as superheroes with fangs.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The Masquerade was very goth punk.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been kind of, our last few examples have been kind of negative, so let's move on to some more positive things. Like, for example, how about the player who is just an actor, a thespian?
I love them. They make it so much easier to DM.
That's
They
me.
Oh my god.
Totally
Like,
me. Totally.
because
That's
it's
me.
like they're story builders. They're building pillars of this story, and it's making it so much better.
And apparently,
I think more players need to be like that. Need
and
to aspire to
apparently,
be
and
like
apparently
that.
that's Rhea because she repeated herself like multiple times.
Sorry. No, but that is kind of how I tend to, like, it really depends on what I'm playing, because with D&D and Pathfinder, I rarely find myself drawn into a story.
Mm-hmm.
Although, granted, for most of those groups, like, I haven't, like, it's just, like, it's usually, like, we meet 4 or 5 times and then we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, with this Dragon Age campaign I'm in, I really like that, and I think that has the bonus of, it's a pre-existing world, that you can be familiar with the lore and stuff. And just the system itself really encourages a lot of roleplay. And so that's been really rewarding because apparently we're all also very RP heavy people. Like we just finished up a murder mystery on a boat. And it was one of our own pitted against one of the crew. And whoever lost this trial was going to go overboard. And she gave this really stirring, kind of, in her last appeal, which is apparently the DM revealed to us later, that's kind of what tipped the scales back in her favor, was really good roleplay.
Yeah. Well, great roleplay. I mean, it can do so many things. And, I mean, I know we shouldn't lean on D&D, but I don't know much else as far as tabletop games go. But, like, they have a thing for good roleplay. Inspiration is based on...
5th edition does. But...
Yeah. Well.
I don't know if I'm this type of player or not, but I do know when I create a character, I go all out creating every aspect of the character and then playing the character as I imagine they should be played.
Yeah, really.
Even hilariously, when it came to the point where someone forced me to make a fan character for something I didn't care, but I still went all out creating the character.
I mean, perfect example is you converting a bunch of Swagan that were formerly worshipping another god. That is right up your alley. And, then Zanis, in a, flash of brilliance inspired from a certain person trapped in a ring, was like, oh, let me help. Minor illusion.
Yeah, like that and the whole giving Carrie the, I don't know if I'd call it a flaw or not, where she gets overly attached to people and gets really, upset when they're gone.
I should clarify something for the listeners at home and also for Rhea because she's not part of that game. The incident that they were just referring to in our last session, Jay's character, Carrie, who is a cleric, they needed to get past some guards to get to this person, and the guards wouldn't let them through, and they want to avoid violence and making a scene. So Carrie started preaching to them and ended up converting them to her religion.
Nice.
Very
awesome.
Successfully, if I might add.
Yes, very successfully.
Yeah. I love doing things like that. Like, I also always have, just in case, I hate DMs who don't do that, but, just in case the DM's gonna be the kind of one who's like, okay, what do you say? I always actually try and come up with what I'm gonna say. Like, when I was playing, my thief character in my offline game, who, he pretends to be a merchant most of the time, and, I'm selling stuff. He goes, okay, well, how are you selling stuff? And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, what are you saying? And so I started doing this whole spiel trying to sell junk as, written items and stuff.
Wanna buy a watch?
On the other end of the spectrum, this is a player type. I hesitate to really call them the opposite because there isn't anything really mutually exclusive between this player type and the actor. But at first glance, they do kind of seem opposites. And this is the min-maxer. The person who their focus with their character is to build the character who is most functional at the game. They any stats that they don't use, they minimize, and so that they can maximize the stats they do use. This is the character who will this is the player who will take different templates that don't really seem like they should go together thematically, but they synergize mechanically really well. So he puts them together. And sometimes they're not interested in role playing that much. Other times they are, and they'll come up with really creative explanations for why their character is the way they are and stuff. So yeah.
Would this be the same thing as the Twinker, or?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
There's that alternate names thing again.
Yeah, I've never really...
I'm not sure if they're quite the thing, because the Twinker is the one who basically exploits the system to get as perfect a character for what they want as they can.
Well, maybe it's a more extreme version.
Yeah.
I
don't know. As long as my character is adequate at stuff and doesn't totally suck, I don't really care.
I just want to have fun.
One of my favorite.
Yeah, really.
One of my favorite Twink stories is the wizard who managed to, by taking certain feats and stuff, get the magic missile that has no save, automatic hit, and does 384 damage automatically plus D100, plus 3D100 or something.
Totally not broken.
It was hilarious.
Well, have you heard of the Necrodancer build for 5th edition D&D?
No,
no, but I want to.
It's it's a necromancer who spends all their time creating an army of skeletons, hundreds of skeletons. And then they power up the skeletons with I can't remember what the spell's called, some kind of dance, but it gives them advantage on rolls.
Oh, is it wait, I think I know it. Hold on. Thriller. That's the one.
Yes, right? It's Thriller.
Yes, I knew it.
But they do that. But basically, the idea is that they create so many skeletons, and even though they're so weak, the fact that there's so many of them and that a chunk of them end up with advantage on attack rolls means that they can take down pretty much anything in a few rounds.
Oh my god!
What is the max amount of skeletons or undead you are willing to let me have in your game? By the way, at the time.
In our actual game, you'd have to deal with things like space, which would be difficult considering it's a nautical campaign.
And Tesca.
Okay.
Yes, and Tesca.
But if you were to multi-class bard into the Necro Dancer, you would be able to use inspiration dice to boost your few skeletons because you don't have enough space to build a lot of skeletons.
Okay,
I think it could work.
So the only limit you're going to put on how many undead Carrie can make is basically how many she can actually make and the space she has them in.
And how many Tesca will allow you to make.
Yeah.
Carrie has plans for that.
I think the answer is 0. I'm going to go with 0.
Please remember your ultra good, your lawful good stick in the mud party member.
Carrie has a plan for that, and that plan is basically, please, can I keep them?
You're holding a skull and you're just like, please.
This is actually my plan, by the way.
I found it. It followed me home.
I already named it.
He's my new friend. You can't make me get rid of him.
It licked me in the face and I want it. Oh my god.
This is actually a thing that's going to happen.
So
he's suffering from PTSD from the skeleton war.
I have another player type, Sean, whenever you're ready to re-rail? Re-rail? I don't know.
Yes,
the opposite of derail.
Let's re-rail right now.
Go ahead. I really like the player that is the leader. And I think it's a very important role. And it's so simple just to say the leader, but it's really the person that they're aware of what's going on to an extent that they are able to guide other players.
Yeah,
and I always like to dictate a leader. I always like to dictate a leader in one of my games, and I always that person always is you know what? You shouldn't do that, but try this instead. Or when nobody knows what to
and there he goes.
I think I kind of played
when
like that.
everybody's bickering over something, it's just like let's do this, let's do that thing.
I have
Go
noticed
that
in a
way.
lot,
No,
in a
I
lot
mean,
of games,
you know.
in a lot of games I've played or run in, there's been at least one person who sort of ends up carrying a character who kind of takes charge of the situation, just kind of by default.
Game.
Right, there's always one.
Usually, like if it's a game that a lot of people are new to, it'll be like the most experienced player who ends up doing that.
I'd say Teska is doing that in this game, and I think Zycram did that in your Essentials game.
From I will say from a DM perspective, this can be kind of a blessing and a curse, because sometimes I know that like what you said, Teska sort of ended up in the leader role in this game. At first, I think Zanis is kind of challenging her for that position now.
To be fair, let's compare intelligence.
Okay. Yeah, Zanis doesn't spill his secrets to the enemy.
But also,
Oh god.
Zanes is in his
That was
element.
great. Kay would like to point out that she may not be the smartest, but she is the wisest.
One sec, I got a lot of cat out.
Okay.
Is that supposed to be some sort of metaphorical term for, letting one go?
I don't.
Max,
Give it to me.
I think that what Sean is like, because I agree, Zanes seems to be like sharing the leader role,
I'm back.
but I only think it's because Zanes is in his town. Like he knows these people, he knows this place.
I think
Well,
it might
not
also
even
be-
that. Like, in Viscera, he really wasn't in his element, except for the fact that, like, Zanes is... He's built for that sort of social work. It's
Yeah,
like,
I think what
we
we've
need
got here,
information.
actually, is we basically started to have, like, branches of government. We've got Teska's kind of still the military and kind of overall leader, but Zanis has definitely become the diplomatic leader and stuff.
I like to think that I'm the military leader because I like to hit things, whereas Teska is the legal side of things. Like, wait, that's not good.
Strongly disagree.
Yeah, but what I was saying earlier about it being kind of a blessing and a curse from the DM's perspective is that sometimes you get the leader and you'll kind of worry that character is kind of starting to dominate the game and that the other players aren't really getting a chance to shine. And because that character will dictate everything that happens, and like everyone else will just kind of end up following in their footsteps. So you do have to be careful about that and try to
Mitigate it a bit.
try to let the other players have chances to sort of do their thing too.
Viscera
Because
was totally
it's no fun if, for example, everyone's talking about a game that you're not part of. So Rhea, anything you'd like to add?
Nice segue.
Yeah, I mean, I think, in my groups are also tend to be a lot smaller that I participate in. So I would say there's probably less of a need for a leader, just because, in one group there are 3 players. So, we kind of split everything pretty evenly. And again, in my, Dragon Age group, we've kind of been taking turns more or less, as the focus shifts, on whoever's, story is more relevant at the moment. But I would say that there's probably somebody who would qualify as a leader in our group as well, but by no means do they dominate.
Yeah.
But I do agree that it is useful sometimes because, when you're less experienced like me, because I've spent a lot of time kind of feeling on the outside looking in because I almost get into groups, I go, or back in college, I was like, yeah, I want to join a group and 1 or 2 meetings and then nothing happened. Mm-hmm. So now that I'm actually playing games more, it's kind of fun and it's really interesting. To finally get to see how it works, in reality rather than thinking about it.
Makes sense.
I think I have another theory, by the way, about who's most commonly the leader. Just from what I'm thinking and what I'm hearing from you guys, I think it's usually whichever character would, logically in character be the most responsible is usually the one who ends up taking the leader role, and assuming the player actually does roleplay their character.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If
I
the
don't
player
necessarily agree.
if the player is a good role player and they have a character like that, I think they'll end up as leader. But mostly, I think it's the person who has the strongest whose character ends up with the strongest personality the quickest.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a while for people to like grow in their character's personality. I feel like the person who like grows in their character's personality like first and grows into it really well and really strongly is the one most likely to end up in the leadership position.
That's possible too.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
No,
I'm just thinking. Sorry.
No,
go,
it's
Chris.
I agree with Sean, honestly, because I feel like a leader doesn't necessarily have to be the moral compass as well.
No.
I think that, it's perfectly reasonable for somebody to take over as the leader, but just want to watch the world burn, as Sean said in the beginning, and so that's why I think it's like, the strongest personality, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
Well, I would like. Sorry.
what the 5th edition game I was in before I started this campaign, I had 2 characters because the first one died, but the first one, he kind of ended up in the leader role, and he was a bard warlock, and he was bordering on the chaotic jackass. And he basically ended up in the leadership role by force of personality alone.
Well,
And
I guess that's possible also.
and he was constantly I was constantly coming up with I was going for my plans being kind of ridiculously audacious. Like, hey, we need to find this thieves guild that kills people when is notorious for killing people who find out too much about them. Okay, I'll walk into the seediest tavern I can find and loudly announce I'm looking for them so that they'll come try to kill me.
I like it.
Alright. Although I'd say there's probably, in a sense, kind of a mitigating situation that if no one else had any force of personality, obviously yours would dominate.
But after that character got killed, and he was killed because of a complicated thing where I was working a haunted, I was working a haunted attraction for Halloween, and so I couldn't make the regular game. So we had a little side solo game going on for him in the meantime, and he ended up dying at the end of that because of a really unlucky roll.
Wait, so he didn't die because he went into a tavern?
No, I survived that.
Awesome.
Wait.
I died because my past caught up to me and I got captured by guards, and I almost made it out of the thing by impersonating guards and running around naked with an illusion cast on me and all this other crazy stuff. And then 5 feet away from the exit, a guard saw through my illusion, and then combat broke out, and I died.
But not because you stood up in a seedy bar and asked about the Thieves Guild that is notorious for killing people who ask about the Thieves Guild, right?
Nope, I got through that fine.
Ha! Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I would also like to point out what I said earlier.
But my next character after that, she was a rogue, and she was a much more low-key character, and so she didn't end up as the leader, because she was just kind of sneering at everyone.
Yeah, that doesn't really go against my point, though. Because I would say that character did actually seem to have sort of responsibility. Because I like to point out, when I say responsibility, I don't mean, they're morally good people. I don't mean, Tesco necessarily. I mean just anyone who feels the need, who has a character who would logically be the one to take charge. Anyone, so a lawful evil character would also be a good leadership role contender.
Well, I think Exalted kind of built that into the system, where Solars are, supposed to be the leadery types,
Well, that's the same with 4th edition Dungeons & Dragons.
Well, 4th edition, the roles aren't really necessary for role-playing. They're meant for combat. The leader role in 4th edition is just the support class.
Yeah, Warlord.
Warlords and clerics and bards are leader roles because they provide support to the other characters.
And then there was the Dragonborn Warlord and the Rube of Screaming Rats.
Chris?
What?
Sorry, just remembering a fun moment from an old game.
4th edition did kind of in terms of combat, divided the class into 4 different roles for each combat scenario. So we had defenders were basically tanks, strikers were DPS, leaders were support, and controllers. Controllers were kind of nebulous, but basically they either debuffed people or they either debuffed their enemies or they concentrated on AoEs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a minion? I don't know. Why don't you try hitting it? Okay, I throw a fireball that hits all 5 of them. They all die. Well, all right then.
Definitely
Controllers
is.
are minions' worst nightmares.
Yeah.
What makes
Oh
you
my
assume they're
God,
minions? I don't know, just a hunch.
Any other player types? Because we are about to run out of time.
Yeah, I have
Okay.
one, actually. The player who plays their character as if it were the player.
Oh,
Because we talked about players who play other characters that aren't them,
Yeah.
but these are players who play characters that are them.
hmm
And I think that is so... It's such a shame, and it's kind of defeating the entire purpose of the game.
well,
And I'm sorry for whoever's listening that is this player type, but it's a character.
there is a place for escapist fantasy, and I feel that
Yes.
that's in the spirit of the whole escapist fantasy aspect of RPGs.
Well,
So.
Sean, let me just clarify here for a second. It's not a matter of if I had superpowers. It's a matter of what would I literally do in this situation if I was suddenly dropped in the middle of a bunch of ogres.
I'd
What
shit
would
myself.
I do? Yeah, exactly. I'd myself. And that's exactly what I've had a player do. They said that their character peed their pants because they were afraid of the fucking goblins.
Oh, no!
You're in an RPG. You are playing a character, and it can be based on you, but it is not you. At the end of the day, you've got a battle axe or a list of spells in your spell book. You know, you are not the player. You are the character, and differentiating the two is a hard step, but it needs to be taken before you can seriously be in a role-playing game.
I think we found the topic that Chris is passionate about.
Listen, man. Listen, it pisses me off. Like,
Clearly.
real bad.
It hits pretty close to home with him.
Unfortunately, you brought it up right at the end because we are now out of time.
That's okay.
You're
I got
welcome.
my mini rant in, and I'm just gonna breathe and drink a little bit more wine now. I have finished. I'm almost done with this bottle.
Damn.
So I may have been passionate about that, but I may also have been a bit buzzed.
Okay.
My Skype crashed. I'm back though.
Okay, then.
Just in time
you
to
didn't miss
leave.
anything.
Awesome.
You missed my rant.
Dang, I'll have to hear it when it comes up, I guess.
Now we got to comb through that with the censorship bleeps. All right.
Oh shoot! that totally my bad. I apologize.
I should just end every single one of these podcasts by suddenly yelling out swear words as fast as I can just before he shuts off the recording.
No, you got to do it in the middle so you can't edit it out.
If you do that, I will kick you from the call so hard.
Or just every time Sean has to like go let the cat out or something.
Yes.
Just every time, you just start screaming expletives.
I still remember, like, talking about the worst thing you could do to someone who has to censor something is quietly say swear words while someone else is talking.
All right. Anyway,
Because in order to edit that out, they'd have to block out
anyway,
the episode
let's end this farce.
Okay.
Thank you everyone for listening once again to Rolling Ones, the RPG podcast, and thank you especially, Mr. Old Listener. If you keep listening, we may tell you how to turn it off. All right.
Eventually.
Once again, I am Sean.
I'm Jay, that Canadian guy.
I'm Chris.
The wasted guy. And I'm Max.
I'm not
And I'm
wasted.
Rhea.
Who are you?
Rhea.
Who's that?
And that is
I'm trying to help the old man.
that.
Not your granddaughter, old man.
If you keep repeating the name, people are more likely to remember it.
Jay.
All right. Anyway, that's it. Go away.
Bye.
You've been listening to Rolling Ones, the RPG podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, then why not give us a like on Facebook or Twitter at Rolling Ones. The music for this episode is by Mega Beardo. It comes from a Castlevania rock opera fan thing they did, which is pretty cool. What are your favorite player types? What kind of player are you? Why not let us know on Facebook or Twitter, which I already mentioned. Seriously, like our Facebook page. We need more likes. Please.